Good morning. Just wait here. Make sure we're going live. See if I've got some sound going. Good morning. Sound's on. Just wait here. All right, great. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the second day of the morning buzz around town. My name is Mike Brady, and it's 7 a.m. in Templeton right now. Excuse me, clearing my throat. This is live. There are no edits. Bit of a scramble this morning. Just had to make some adjustments in the household and shift some cars around. And so I found myself driving my son to practice. And that kind of threw off my preparation. Oh, and then the other thing is, the coffee pot broke. And so if you've been to our house, maybe you've noticed we've got this counter next to the fridge with probably 4 or 5 different types of coffee makers and pots. We've got one that's just an espresso deal that my daughter bought, and she loves that one. And then we've got one that's, the sun's coming up. That's going to be fun. Let me adjust my seat here. Oh, that's even worse. And then we've got one that's, hold on, I'm going to be right back. This is live, people. I don't know if that's making it worse or better, but that sun's really going to do a number on me. Let's see here. Hide that. There we go. Well, it's live, so it is what it is at this point. It's funny because I send an email out to all the guests that are going to come onto the show, and I say, hey, make sure your sound is good, your lighting's good. And here I am, set up in a different room today, kind of a makeshift studio that I did last minute because it's 30 degrees in the other one. And here I am with really bad lighting. And so I'm gonna try to make some adjustments to see if I can fix that. But maybe when I get Mr. Mack on to co-host with me at 7:30, I'll make some adjustments. So anyways, I was talking about, if you come to our house, you'll notice next to our refrigerator, we've got like 17 different style coffee pots going. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that we drink so much coffee in our house that we just run those things into the ground, and then we think that we're going to do maintenance on it and fix it and clean it and, what do they call it? Not debug, destem, degrease, descale. Thank you. Descale these coffee pots and get them up to a spot where you can use them again. And it just never happens. And so as a result, we just add another coffee pot to the countertop. And so we've got this espresso machine that my daughter likes to make her specialty drinks on. We've got this really cool spaceship looking machine that has, it's like got a water reservoir in the back, and then you dump whole beans in the top, and then you push a button and talk to it or something. And then it spits out like the perfect cup of coffee for you, right? That thing is dangerous because you literally can drink coffee all day and it's just going and going. Ben, I know I'm glowing. It's driving me nuts. I can't. I'm hoping the sun just kind of climbs up here in a few seconds. So it's a little better though, right? Anyways, the third coffee pot was this one that was kind of a last second deal, Black & Decker. I think Allison bought it at the grocery store for like $16 in a pinch. And that thing, it's old reliable, right? It's these Black & Decker coffee pots. That's kind of a traditional one. And it's been working great, except I'm going to throw my wife under the bus here. I don't know what she did, but for some reason she overfilled the filter with more grounds than it needed or could take. And as a result, the coffee kind of, the filter overflowed, spilled into the water reservoir, got all over the counter. So me thinking, well, I'm going to do my wife a favor and clean the house while she's gone today. I took the whole coffee pot, and this is probably not something I should have done, but I did it anyways. And I turned, I just kind of ran the whole thing under the faucet to clean all of the coffee grounds off. And of course, there's electronics that probably got a little wet. So needless to say, this morning when I went to go pour myself a cup of coffee with the pot that I thought I set the timer for last night, the coffee pot wasn't working. And so it just sat there and sat there and sat there. So what did I do? I went and I got a pan, a pot, I guess you would call it, boiled some water, and then pulled out the old French press, old reliable. They've been making coffee like that for hundreds of years. And it did the trick this morning. So yeah, coffee adventures. Cheers. Drinking out of my Manila cup. If you haven't been, Manila is in the Philippines. It's a fabulous country. The Philippines is a fabulous country. Manila is a wonderful town. And the people of the Philippines are some of my favorite people in the world. It's just an awesome culture. It's like they love music and they love dancing and performing, and they're just they're loving culture. And so cheers, Manila. Thank you for treating us like family every time we go. All right, I have to say a couple things. Yesterday's show was our first show, and I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude with the response that we got, the viewership that we got. We streamed it live from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and we had there was over 1,500 impressions online so far, over 500 views, tons of comments, people sharing. So I just want to say thank you so much for doing that. It was a great first show. Very excited about the possibility that this platform is gonna have, the opportunity for us to have real-time communication coming from the people in our community that want to spread news and information and positivity. Like to me, that's what it's all about. And so the fact that we can check in with somebody from the school district or somebody from a coach from a team or somebody from the community real time, share information with each other, that's a pretty cool thing in 2021. And so, hopefully this thing catches on, and hopefully the show content gets better and better for everybody, and you guys find some value in what we're sharing. And again, I'll just put it out there, right? This is what we make of it. And so the Morning Buzz is meant to be your microphone, if you will, or your sounding board. And so if you have any information that you want to get out to the general public in our community, please share it. You can email morningbuzzaroundtown@gmail.com. You can DM me on Facebook on the Morning Buzz Around Town page. You can DM me privately. You can text me. You can call me. However you want to get a hold of me and get me information. My hope is that this show is filled with viewer generated content, right? And so if somebody, perfect example, if Abby from Templeton Market has a special going on breakfast burritos, like Abby, if you're watching, come on the show and tell the community what's going on, what you've got on special today. Templeton Donuts, all of these local community businesses and leaders and people. So yesterday's show, we had a great show. I apologize, Marty. Thanks. I'm looking good. All right, thank you. Well, I try, I guess. Yesterday's show was great. We kicked it off we had a little bit of an audio and visual issue with Brent to pop in, but Brent, I'm going to get Brent back on the show. Again, his story is phenomenal. A 16-year-old, just all-star athlete, had everything going for him. Went away to camp at Hume Lake with his church youth group, and boys being boys, messing around, roughhousing. They were wrestling, and something happened. They fell the wrong way, and as a result, Brent became paralyzed from the neck down, and became a quadriplegic at 16 years old. And so that obviously drastically altered his life and his life's mission. But excuse me, he found his mission, right? And so as a result, he's impacted so many people, including the people in my house over the years, with his message of hope and his message of overcoming obstacles and spreading love and positivity. And so Brent spends all of his time helping children, sending his message in the form of writing books, in the form of going to talk at schools. Let's see here. I'm having a bit of a streaming issue. Let me see about. Who really otherwise are disconnected from the world and are feeling hopeless. And so when my family spent a week at Children's Hospital 2 years ago, this dude rolled in his wheelchair and said, "Hey, I'm Brent." A mutual friend said, "Come see Noel Brady." And so Brent introduced himself and spent every single day at the hospital with us and brought us food and made soup. And what else did he do? He tried to get my son to become a Steelers fan, in a moment of weakness. My son was like this close to kind of rooting for the Steelers, and then he snapped out of it. The drugs wore off, and so he wasn't a Steelers fan. But Brent's a huge Steelers fan, and so they had fun. Brent also, a cool thing about him, he brought in the Rocky movies for my son to watch as he was laid up in bed for a week. And so that was Noel's introduction to Rocky, which was really cool. And so we have fun with Brent. He's a great guy in the community. He does a lot of cooking, which is fun. If you follow him on Facebook, he's always got recipes that he's sharing, and I think he calls his show "Cooking with a Quadriplegic." And so, while he does have general mobility of his arms, he is classified as a quadriplegic because I don't understand the technicalities of it, but he is in fact a quadriplegic. And so he surfs, he water skis, he does all, rugby. He's just a fascinating human being. The ultimate story of overcoming obstacles and barriers to make the most out of the situation that you've been given. And so Brent Poppin will be back on the show, I promise you, because he's just a special dude. So we also had Mr. Mack on. Mr. Mack's going to come on every day with us. I love Matt McFarland. Matt McFarland is one of those dudes that just lives for these students, right? He is all about the students of our community. He wants to pour his heart and soul and every minute of every day into making the students' school experience the best that it could be. And so Mr. Mack has a ton of energy. He's got a wealth of knowledge when it comes to all the things that are happening at the high school. He's the activities director and he's the ASB advisor. So Mr. Mack will be joining us every single day at 7:30. So hang out for another 15 minutes or so. He'll pop in, give us our daily update of all things Templeton High School, what's going on around the school. We had the ASB presidents on yesterday from Paso and from Templeton. That was fun. Presley Bodenschott, she's the ASB president for Paso Robles High School. She and my daughter, Abby Brady, who's the ASB president for Templeton, are going to come on the show at least once a week. I'm thinking every Monday we're going to check in with our ASB presidents to get students' perspectives and see, you know, how they're doing. They're both seniors. This is an interesting year for seniors, you know, everywhere. Well, it's an interesting year for all of us, I guess. But, you know, if you remember back to your senior year, right, that was, it was mostly about, at least my senior year, it was mostly about socializing and making the most of all the school activities that were going on. And so, you know, looking at what these kids have gone through, they've had really limited to no socializing and absolutely no student activities going on. And so everything that we think traditionally about a senior year in high school is in fact not there this year. And so I feel like it's important to get those ASB presidents on once a week to give us the students' perspective, check in with them to make sure, you know, everything's going well with them, lend them our support, but also give them a platform for them to speak their opinions and really just get messages out that they want to get out to the general public as well. And so Presley Bodenschott and Abby Brady joined us yesterday. We also came up with, this is cool. So I'm getting mixed information. Ben, maybe if you're watching still, you can dispel any rumors. But so I'm told that Paso, well, again, somebody says Paso and Templeton have never played, but somebody else said Paso and Templeton have played. I don't remember Paso and Templeton ever playing. And so we thought it'd be a great idea. And I'm going to pitch this to Coach Crow if he doesn't already have it in his head, the idea. But I'd love for us to put together some type of trophy for the schools. I came up with something called the Bronze Boot. I don't know if we're going to name it the Bronze Boot. I don't know if it'll be a bronze boot, but something like that. That will be a trophy that can get passed from school to school as each school wins the competition between. Kind of a cool little fun rivalry in the making, I guess. Templeton versus Paso Robles. I know that we try our hardest in our house to recruit kids away from Paso to bring them over to Templeton. It's probably not even legal. I don't know, but it's just a fun thing amongst friends for us to do. And so, anyways, this is going to be a great time for these kids who have grown up together to really compete against each other at this level, high school level. And while the opportunities for us to go watch these games in person is going to be limited. Okay, so Ben says if they've played, it was many years ago, only scrimmages recently. Okay, well, Ben, that's your homework assignment. I need to know the record, the last time they played, what the record is between the schools, and we'll go from there. No, but so it's going to be, you know, limited opportunities for us to obviously watch these games in person. However, if you are a diehard and you do want to watch these things in person, there's so many opportunities for you as a community member to volunteer your time. You know, there's a number of organizations that are helping put these things on. Athletic Boosters being one of them, and they are looking for all kinds of volunteers to help out with the snack bar. And so, you know, if you're a diehard and you really want to get into these football games or baseball or softball or tennis or anything, there's lots of volunteer opportunities. And so if you are interested, you can send me an email. I'll put you in touch with the right people that can, you know, help you navigate to get on that sign up list. morningbuzzaroundtown@gmail.com is the email address where you can reach me. So bronze boot, I don't know, could be a thing. Let's make a trophy. Let's get these kids, you know, playing for something that they can have bragging rights for. And so we had athletic director Joe Farley on yesterday. We're going to check in with him once a week. And he's going to, you know, continue to outline for us what the guidelines are to help keep these kids safe and to help keep them on the fields and on the courts as long as possible. So, he's giving us real-time direct information about, CIF guidelines, state guidelines, local guidelines, school guidelines, all of that. So Athletic Director Joe Farley, you can go on the Facebook page and see the clip from yesterday as well. And then also on the Instagram, we've got those interviews kind of cut up, and you can watch those individually. So yeah, it was a great show yesterday. Lots of community involvement. Today's going to be a fantastic show. We've got Mr. Mac coming in at 7:30. We've got a drag racer, a local celebrity, Doug Gordon. He's a drag racer. They're a Templeton family. Doug's going to join us here at 7:45 and give us a little motivation and tell us his story. And then we've got Miles Martinelli, great kid from our community, coming on. He's part of the drama program here at the high school. He's going to come on and talk about the production of Young Frankenstein. I was trying to get him to send me a script, and we were going to do a reading together. And I don't know, a lot of people don't know this, but I was actually in the theater program at Pasadena City College back in the mid 90s, late 90s. And I was a bit of a thespian myself. And so I wanted to do a scene with Miles this morning, but he's saying that there might be some copyright restrictions and whatnot. So hopefully we can get him to come on and tell us what we can expect from this theater engagement that they're doing. So Miles is going to be on at 8 o'clock. We've got a couple of the seniors who are the heads of the FFA student organization here at Templeton High School. Katie Simonin's going to be on, and Cody Kuster. They're going to come on at 8:15 to talk about all things FFA, what's going on with their program this year, how they've adapted to changes, and the things that they're spending their time on as well. And then at 8:30, this is going to be every Tuesday at 8:30, we're going to check in with high school principal Josh Aston. Josh is going to give us his touch points. If you guys have students at the high school, you are getting his email that he sends out. That's a weekly touch points that gives us the state of the school. And so Josh is going to make it a point to come join us every Tuesday and at 8:30, and we'll go from there. And he could and let me just reiterate too, this isn't what I don't want is this to be a platform for like a Q&A with these guests. These guests are taking time out of their day to use this platform as a spot where they can relay information real time to us. Now, that being said, they're always wanting to answer questions, and so you're more than welcome to email questions or post questions in the comments, and I'll make sure that we get them to them, and then they can prepare for the following week of being able to really come to the table with specific answers. And so Josh will be on here at 8:30 to give us an update for the high school. Other than that, really, I mean, tomorrow's another jam-packed show. So we've got lots of things. I've got to run down to Los Angeles today, right after the show, for a little quick check-in with somebody. But I'll be on the road all day, but back tonight. And so if you guys want to get a hold of me and give me any information that you want to get on the show for tomorrow, please, by all means, do it. Tomorrow we got a great show too. We got Mr. Lewis from the high school coming in. He's going to do some this day in history stuff, and Coach Crow. Coach Crow is going to come in once a week and do a segment, and I got to come up with a clever name for it, like Crow's Nest or Crow's Corner or something like that. I'm sure it's all been done before. But so if you guys have any names for what we can call Coach Crow's segment, please, feel free to comment and let me know. That'd be great. What else? District update tomorrow. We're going to have, I think, either Mr. Burnett and Mr. Asplund both join us, or one or the other. I'm not sure, but they're going to spend some time with us tomorrow and give us kind of a district lay of the land of what's going on. And if you guys have any information that you want me to share with the group, with the community, please hit me up in the comments or morningbuzz around town at gmail.com. Couple other things going on today in the community. Nature's Touch is having they're hosting a class tonight at 5:30. It's called Grow Food with Nature. And so Melanie, another, great longtime community member, grew up with us in Paso. She has this store downtown Templeton that if you haven't been to, it's phenomenal. And so it's cool that she does these classes. And so today, 5:30, and she's not affiliated with what we're doing here at all. It's just somebody in the community that has something going on that I wanted to share with you. And so 5:30 p.m. tonight, Grow Food with Nature. You can find out more information on that on her Facebook page. Also going on right now, it's the SLO International Film Festival is happening online. It starts today and it runs through the 14th. It's a free event online, and you can go to slowfilmfest.org. If you've got nothing going on and you just want to sit around watching movies online all day, that's where you go, slowfilmfest.org. 2 p.m. today, online women's speaker series happening. Naomi Miraglio is an architect and historian. This is a series about women in architecture, which is interesting. And so you can go on to filoli.org. Filoli.org is where you can, at 2 p.m., hear this online women's speaker series about women in architecture. Also online tonight, there's a happy hour happening at 5 p.m. It's featuring a violinist, Hilary Hahn. Hilary is a 3-time Grammy winner. And so if you want to open a glass of wine and listen to some great violin music online tonight, 5 p.m., she's going to be doing a free concert. And it's the website you go to is salastina-org.zoom.us. So if you're really interested in it, hit me up and I'll send you the link. It's an online happy hour featuring a 3-time Grammy winning violinist in Hilary Hahn. So another important announcement that I'm supposed to get out is that we have snack bar volunteers. I touched on it already, but the athletics boosters met last night via a Zoom call and wanted to put out the word that they are looking desperately for volunteers to help out with the snack bar at football, softball, and baseball games. The volunteers need to be 18 or older, and they cannot be students of the high school. And so that's just the guidelines that are being put out there. And so if you are interested in helping and being a volunteer for those snack bar opportunities, you can email allisonebrady@gmail.com, or you can even just hit me up, morningbuzzaroundtown@gmail.com as well, and I can get you in touch with them. The snack bar ladies, I call them snack bar ladies. Actually, the athletic boosters ladies are going to join us on Friday as well to talk about what we can expect in the way of a snack bar and also what the boosters are doing currently to help support the athletic program at the high school level. And yes, I did tell them that we're all going to be wondering what the status of the tri-tip sandwiches is going to be. And so that's one thing that is a hot topic around town. I know we got to get these tri-tip sandwiches going. Don't know if it's going to be kosher this year with all the guidelines, but we will soon find out. I had a whole bunch of other things going on. Mr. Mack, how are you, sir? Hold on. I got to get my speakers working. I know everyone else can hear you, but I can't hear you. So stand by.
How's that?
Yeah. I think I got you.
Okay. Hey, those boosters, man, boosters are an amazing group, aren't they?
They are. They sure are. I got a bad connection on my end. I don't know if it's me or you.
I don't know. I think I got the fastest internet around being at the school.
Okay, it's working now. You sound great.
Okay.
So I had a whole list of other things that I was going to go over today. And so I haven't even given the weather yet.
Wow.
Yeah, the weather today, partly cloudy, chance of rain increasing to 85% around 11 o'clock tonight. And then it's going to get up to about 54 degrees today. So not a good day if you're a sun worshiper, outdoor athlete like myself. But it's perfect cross country weather.
It is.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It is. Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
And then let's see what else happened. What else is happening? I touched on the volunteers needed, those snack bar. That's everything that I've got. What's going on with you?
Wow. Hey, something I got to throw your way. And should have gotten people, if you have a student at Templeton High School, you should have gotten an email from Mr. Aston last night, just reminding you that, and this is kind of important because we could overlook it with all the hype of coming back to school and all those type of things.
Sure.
But every student should have, when they come onto campus on Monday or Tuesday, whenever they come, they should either bring their Chromebook, their school issued Chromebook with them, or we will have them for them to check out on Monday or Tuesday. And I tell you that only because students need to bring with them. First of all, if they have the Chromebook, they need to bring it charged, ready to go. Just one of those things that's, like bringing a mask, bringing a water bottle, bring your charged Chromebook, ready to go. Again, school issued one. If you don't have one though, we're going to be happy to give you one on Monday or Tuesday, the day you come, but you need to bring the technology use form that was emailed to you last night. It needs to be filled out, signed, all that sort of stuff. Just bring that with you. For a piece of paper, we give you a Chromebook. I mean, it's a pretty good deal.
So here's a question. Do these Chromebooks, if they're fully charged, will they last the student all day? Do we know that?
Yes. I mean, yes, they will. Yeah, they should. Absolutely, they should. And of course, we have the ability to, plug in at school if we need to. But
I picture it being like an airport. If you've ever traveled for work, it's like that 5 o'clock flight, and there's just business people lined up to try to steal one little charging spot in the airport. And
yeah.
So,
with us, no, I think we'll be fine because, you're talking about from 8 to 12:45, and it's not like they will be on them all the time if they're here on campus.
Got it.
So yeah, it should be fine.
Yeah. And, my kids, when I think of my kids, I think, man, they're always in their laptops doing schoolwork, so
right.
They're just burning those batteries.
Right. Hey,
Actually, my kids probably don't even know where their laptops are at this point.
Yeah. Hey, the other thing that's going on around here and in the lives of students that I deal with is some of them are really, especially the seniors, are really starting to think about what's coming next for them. And so just wanted to, we got this, of course.
Oh, Belmont.
And I know that your daughter has already selected the school she'll be going to next year. And I know that some are doing the college route, which is great. Some are doing the community college route with Cuesta, which is also a great opportunity, with the promise and all that sort of stuff. Knock out your GE first. Some aren't doing the college thing, and they're going straight into business, or they are going into the military. We've got some students that are interested in the military. But I bring that up, Mike, because there is a great opportunity for our seniors. There is a lot of scholarships out there that are available on the school website. If you go on there and in the little search box, type in scholarships, Mrs. Miller, who's our registrar, has done an amazing job, and the businesses in the community, some of whom I'm sure are listening right now. We are so thankful for you businesses, especially our local businesses that help our students, achieve their dreams and get to that college that they are hoping to get to. And those scholarships, parents, if you want to give your child a nudge, they have due dates on them. So, you have to get the application turned in by a certain time in order to qualify for that.
I want to put up the school website address here. What is that address?
Yeah, if you just, the easiest way is if you just Google Templeton High School, it's the top one.
Oh, okay. That was really just a lazy way to do it, Mr. McFarland.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry.
I wanted to have like a cool graphic with the actual website.
You want me to tell you what it actually is? The actual
Hold
website.
on. I'm messing around with this software program so we can like do a real professional show here.
There you go. So
I'm
it's Templeton HS. So
here,
Templeton.
how about that?
You got it?
How does that look on the screen? Google Templeton High School.
Well, yeah, that works. Or you could do Templeton High School or TempletonHS.schoolloop.com. That works as well.
TempletonHS.schoolloop.com.
Yeah. That's it. That'll get you there too, but we're not sure which one will get you there faster. We'll find out.
All right, let's try it. Let's try that. Oh no, it didn't save. Oh,
it's all good. Either way, we're the easiest website I would think to find, and we are constantly. I got a social media class that is constantly updating that. If you were to go on it right now, if you do, you'll see on the banner it tells you about Young Frankenstein opening up on March 18th. You can watch the boys cross country race where Josh Bell set the record on Saturday. You can watch that, a replay of it, because we live cast it. We got a little graphic there of our Eagle football team, which we are excited about starting up here pretty soon. 19th opening game, and a whole lot of other stuff on there that you can access. Senior events and like I said, scholarships and kind of all the things you need to know. We have a this week at Templeton High School, and you just click on it. It gives you in like a minute or less kind of the things that are going on campus, and we try to update that every week. So.
Awesome. That's so cool. And so when you guys you're doing most of your interaction with the social media class on like Google Docs and stuff like that.
Yeah. We Zoom as a class, and then there we can work on the web page and Facebook and Instagram and stuff kind of together. Mm-hmm. Next week we'll be back on campus, so that'll be great. We'll have half the people in class, the other half at home. But if you've ever seen my classroom, I got 3 screens, and each one of those, one would be designated for each one of our kind of social media platforms and stuff. We got a YouTube channel, pretty awesome. Much anything. We got it all. So
cool. Yeah. And so what is that YouTube channel? Is it just?
You're going to do that to me again, huh? Hey, if you go to YouTube and you search Templeton High School, you're going to find it. No, just kidding. Hey, if you're on our School Loop page, right at the top, you will see links to all of our social media. So if you're up there, you'll see a link to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and for parents and for students, a link to PowerSchool as well. So that's the easiest way. If you jump on our School Loop page, which is kind of the main school page, up on the top, you can get links to everything.
Awesome. Okay. So, do we have anything happening today with athletics or activities?
Man, I'm telling you, there is always something going on camp. I was here. I drove in last night, and about 7:30, and the parking lot was packed. And I'm like, really? What in the world? And that's because soccer was practicing. So guys soccer was practicing last night. Girls soccer started conditioning yesterday. And that looks like a good group out there. And our guys, I haven't seen our guys soccer team practice, but I was talking to one of the coaches at cross country meet, and he was saying they're really excited about what the talent they have out there. But that wasn't your question. Your question was, what's going on today? We have tennis, our undefeated girls tennis team. They are 6-0. They are playing on the road at Santa Maria. They're playing twice this week, actually, on the road. Santa Maria, Tuesday and Thursday of this week. And we're not really sure these days. Like usually we have a sense of, oh, this person's really good, and we got to watch out for, their number ones or whatever. But with all of athletics, with some students maybe going from public school to private school or switching to a different school, or since you're limited on the number of sports you can do, you're not really sure what you're going to get until the season starts and you get an opportunity to see people and see who's really on the team. So we're not really sure what Santa Maria's tennis team looks like. I was talking with a tennis coach yesterday, but she really feels like no matter what Her kids are pretty dialed in. She was the JV coach last year, and when Mary Hausinger retired, our longtime varsity girls coach, JV coach stepped in, and a lot of the girls stepped up with her, just because that was kind of the natural progression. So we got a solid team that have been playing together for a while.
So you touched on it in a conversation that we had before. There was a freshman girl that hasn't started playing yet. Is she actually playing?
Yeah, she got in, Emma Zuabe and Ada Teresi. We got 2 freshmen on the varsity team that are good. They're playing well. You don't normally see a freshman playing up on a varsity team just straight out of the chute, but
sure.
These guys are good, and we also have 4 senior girls on the varsity team, and then we have some juniors and sophomores in there as well. But they're pretty solid top to bottom, and really I think the closest match they've had was 6-3 or something like that in matches. Wow. It wasn't. They've been handling people pretty well. One of these days they're going to be tested, but
sure.
But so far they've done really well in league.
Okay, so that's tennis.
Yeah.
Okay. I came to the campus last night to drop my son off, and I noticed that there was a ton of kids coming and going. So that's exciting to see, right? Yeah. And I don't know. I should have asked Mr. Farley this yesterday, but maybe you can kind of touch on what can the kids expect and the parents expect first day back at school. What's the check-in process going to be like? I'm sure Mr. Aston's probably going to touch on it as well, but from your vantage point, what do you think?
That's a great question, Mike, because it is going to be a little bit different. Mr. Aston and my Link Crew kids put together a little video that he sent out to all the parents that, and I'm sure you just haven't opened your email yet, that shows how they're to enter on campus. So the campus will be open at 7:45 with school starting at 8. And they start with, on a normal day, what they would start with is there's a couple different places in front. There is the gym. They can enter in the gym kind of by the tennis courts and the parking lot. They can enter through there, or they can enter the main office area, and there will be some scanners, and you simply put your wrist up to the scanner. It takes your temperature, just kind of to check that for everybody. Then you'll make your way into campus, bring in, of course, your mask and your water bottle, and your Chromebook. And then it's kind of, in terms of the starting of school, that's kind of normally how it happens. When you get into class, the chairs are socially distanced. They're all set up, which is easy because we're only having half the students at a time. So that's going to be easy. We have we have a break in between first and second, break in between second and third and fourth. And then after fourth, they'd be done. Snacks they would bring for themselves. They're going to bring their own food because we're not going to be selling food on campus, just for, COVID restrictions and things like that. So water bottles, really important. They bring their own water bottle. The water refilling stations will be open for them to just put their water bottle under that to refill. Drinking fountains per se, the old school style where you push it and the water comes out. Those won't be available, but water filling stations, we have those around campus for them to fill up their water bottles.
You remember as kids, like drinking out of those water fountains, you would put your mouth on the thing. I mean, kids just, it's like, yeah, that's just not happening anymore, right?
It was always an adventure because you never knew if the thing was going to just dribble out or if it was a fire hose coming out. So, the smart ones.
And then you had the one kid that figured out how to put your finger on it.
Oh, yeah.
And like squirt everybody walking by,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I was not the squirter. I was the one getting squirted. Yeah. So, hey, I want to thank you for introducing me to somebody who's a local celebrity, and actually like a national celebrity on the racing circuit.
Oh yeah.
Doug Gordon, and I'll invite him into the conversation now. He's joining us this morning, but I really want to thank you for getting him in contact with me so that he could be a part of the show. Hey, good morning, Doug. How are you?
Good morning. Doing well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. I'll put your name under your picture there. All right. Now it's official. So Doug, I grew up with your wife, Christina. I met her in 7th grade when she moved to Paso, and she was in classes with me, just a bundle of just light and enthusiasm, and just a cheerleader at high school. She was awesome. And then, fast forward years later, I meet your daughter, Maddie, through my wife, who was coaching her in volleyball. Again, just like radiates light like her mom, right? And so I can only imagine that you're probably a source of that as well. And so when Mr. Mack asked me if I wanted to have you on, I obviously jumped at the opportunity because I've heard your name for years, and I confess I'm not a big racing guy. I'm actually not a car guy. I don't even know how to change my oil. I probably shouldn't say that, but
girls can do that.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm reading all these articles about you, and I see pictures of the girls actually changing the oil in one of the cars. I'm like, oh man, okay, that's pathetic. I need to step up my game, my parenting game a little, I guess. But anyways, I want to welcome you to the show. Thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, no, I'm stoked to be on. I'm a Templeton Eagle. I was born and raised here in Templeton, and I was graduated in Templeton High School in 1993. So I'm proud to be part of the Templeton show.
So in reading your bio or an article about you, you actually started racing around 1993 as well, correct?
I did. I started driving when I was 18 years old. So I was pretty young to get started in the whole thing. But at the time the economy had been pretty bad in the early 90s and stuff. We didn't know if we're going to be able to keep racing. My dad was a driver, originally. And then he's like, hey, maybe we're only going to be able to do it one more year. So I'll give you a shot to drive before we quit. And so I got to drive that year and, got to, learn the ropes, and we did pretty well. And then the economy started picking back up, and here we are 28 years later and still doing the same thing.
Right. Wow. And you guys have a local business here in town?
Yeah. So I'm actually here right now at Morro Bay Cabinets. It's basically it's a big cabinet shop that does residential and some commercial, but we basically supply cabinets for custom cabinets for pretty much all San Luis County. We venture out of San Luis County a little bit, but for the most part, just everything just right around here, and do all of our business just by word of mouth, and try to do a good job and make people happy, and hopefully they come back and tell their friends.
And so you basically grew up in the cabinet shop and in a garage.
Yeah, for sure. So I was down here at the cabinet shop when there was summer vacations and stuff. Well, I didn't do a whole lot of vacationing. It was I come down here to work at the cabinet shop, and I swept floors and just learn the business, and work my way up. I was an installer. I was a cabinet builder. I swept the floors, cleaned the toilets, and and today I run the day-to-day ends of the business.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. It's and obviously your kids are involved in do you get them into the cabinet shop, or they just stay in the garage?
Well, just on the back side of this wall right here, Madison's actually working on, she's working in the office. She's coming down here and working in the mornings. We're working on a new computer program, trying to take all of our file drawers, get rid of files, and put everything onto digital format, which is just a bunch of scanning and entering in paperwork and stuff. And so she's been down here for the past month and a half, something like that. Working here every morning and getting stuff done. So at Macy's been down here working and stuff too over time. Right now, with her school stuff, she's got to be in class today. But Madison ended up some independent studies this year, so it gave her some time to do the stuff here at the cabinet shop in the mornings.
Yeah, I read an article I think the Paso Robles Press put out about you after you guys had won the national championship, and it sounded to me like you guys did a fantastic job as a family and parents, really incorporating the kids into your daily life through this whole pandemic, and kind of altered what the routine looked like, but ended up being something that was pretty beneficial to your family and ultimately to your racing career, right?
No, for sure. I was, as much as the COVID stuff has, kind of harmed us all in so many ways, it changed things for the better in some ways too, So for us, the girls had chance, usually they're in school, and school's first priority, and that's what they do for a living is school. And so, that's their first priority. They got to do a good job at that, and they do a good job at it. So I was like, hey, well, shoot, you're not in school, you can do school while you're on the road. And so we're on airplanes and trying to get Wi-Fi on airplanes, which that didn't really work out, but at least we're at the airports, on school. And as soon as we get the races, we're working on cars, and Macy's got to go up and do her school up in the lounge, which Mr. Mack has seen a few times.
Yeah.
And but they travel all around the country with us, and they are able to become our crew. We've always had multiple men that were the crew. And but this year the girls, have always wanted to do it, but for the most part they were kind of too young to do it too for a lot of years, And this year Madison's 16 years old, Macy's 15. They're both strong, good girls that pay attention and watch for all the years, so they understand mechanics, they understand torque wrenches, they understand what a nut and bolt is and stuff. So they've worked their way up and done a really, really good job. I mean, they are the crew. It's me, Christina, my parents, them, and we have one guy, Rick Wilkinson, who's also from Paso, and he goes with us. And but they do all the hard work. They can take the motor completely apart, pull all the pistons out of it, put it all back together, everything 100% by themselves. They need a little lifting power on some things, but other than that, they can do the whole thing by themselves, which is pretty cool. Guys joke around about the pits. They're like, "Oh man, we got beat by the Gordon girls." They got beat by teenage girls, and it's a man's world, but they're conquering it.
That's awesome. My wife just commented. She says, "I love those Gordon girls. Great girls." That's very. So we have one person watching.
Mike. So I'm blessed to have Macy in class, and sometimes she'll, you never know when the kids are going to, when, but when they come on to Zoom, you're never sure what the background's going to be. You're never sure whatever, but they'll be in the pits, or they'll be, in an airport, and I'll say, "Wow, where are you guys now?" "Well, we're headed to a race." But they always get their stuff done. And I think giving them that extra responsibility, working as a team, with the race team, and it's really helped form them into who they are. And to hear, I'm guessing, Mike, you're going to talk about Doug's race this past weekend, but one of the things being involved in a team and in racing, and of course Maddie was on softball team and that sort of stuff. They've learned that winning and losing, you don't always win, and you keep your head up, and I've seen them not be discouraged when things don't go right, and they just they bounce back. And didn't happen this weekend, but it's going to happen next week, and they just that kind of attitude is great to see in a kid, that when things aren't going well, they don't fall apart.
I just know, watching Maddie on the volleyball court, like intensity, hard work, positive spirit. Like, she was the hardest worker on that floor at any given time. So I would imagine that's coming from both you and Christina, and your family tradition of just your work ethic and putting your head down. Yeah. So talk to me about the race. What the season looks like, a typical season. Is it week after week after week? Or are you coming home? Like, what does that look like for you guys typically?
Yeah, so for the most part, I say, and we race two different series. So I run the Alcohol Funny Car, series around the country, but then the girls also race cars too. So we have, basically two race operations. For the most part, gone racing about 28 weekends a year. So the Funny Car race is 16 weekends a year, and we race. We were in Gainesville, Florida last weekend, and then I flew back Sunday night. Me and the girls and Christina, we fly back on Thursday back to Florida, and then we fly back again next week, and then we go to Las Vegas the following weekend. But we raced in I don't know about Pomona this year, but Pomona, California, Vegas, Nevada, Gainesville, Florida, Indianapolis. We were in Denver, Colorado, Topeka, Kansas, Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas. Trying to think of some other, but we basically, so the Funny Car deal travels quite a deal. Like I say, it's basically a 16 race series. In the 2020, it got narrowed down, some due to COVID. So it only ended up being about a 10 race series. But, we were able to, win 6 out of those 10 and, won the national championship, which was a huge accomplishment. We finished second once and third and fourth quite a few times, but to win the whole thing was really, really phenomenal. But in the girls deal with the girls junior drag racing, they go 100 miles an hour in dragsters. They're phenomenal. They're phenomenal crew people. They're phenomenal school. I mean, A's and B's. They're straight A students. Macy is most of the time, and Madison A's and B's, sometimes straight A's. And but then they've won championships in their junior dragsters, and so they got a big racing program too. But they go to Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, Fallon, Nevada, Vegas, Sacramento, Irwindale, Bakersfield. They go all around with their racing program too. Well, we do it as a family, but they're the racers.
Wow. So what happened last weekend? Mr. Mack touched on it, but I assuming it didn't go as planned.
Yeah, so last weekend, we ended up we got a new motor combination, which is we're trying to figure out a little bit, and we struggled a little bit in the early runs, kind of figuring things out. But by eliminations, we had things kind of figured out. So we were in the first round of eliminations. It was a 3-round race. There was eight cars with elimination format going from 8 to 4 to 2 to 1. And so we were in the first round of eliminations, and the guy we were racing is a good racer. He's from Wyoming, and we were in Florida. But we were ahead of him, leading the race at about probably 900 feet, going about 220 miles an hour at that point. And there's a blower belt, they call it. It's a belt that powers a supercharger on top of the motor that helps give the motor extreme power. And it broke in half. And at that point, it lost the power, and that gave him a chance to go around us, and he was able to take us out first round. So it was unfortunate. We didn't like to see things go that way, but luckily in the format of this race season, they give you some chances to falter. You can basically throw out some race losses and then count the ones that you did good at. So we'll hopefully be able to throw that out as just one in the trash can, and hopefully improve and do some better at some ones in the future.
So what's the next race, and how can we, as spectators, watch it and cheer you on?
So we're going to fly back to Gainesville, Florida again this weekend. So this race will be on TV. It'll be on usually Fox Sports 2, I believe it is. I'd have to look it up exactly to see, but so they'll be showing live this weekend, like on Saturday and Sunday. They'll be showing qualifying and eliminations of the professional classes, which is the class that's right above us: Top Fuel, Funny Car, the John Force, and people like that.
So if I'm surfing on the channels, I'm looking for NHRA drag racing.
NHRA drag race, yes, sir. And so they won't show us this weekend, then unless we might catch a highlight of us or something, but they won't catch us during the live show. But typically it's about a week after. And I can actually look it up and maybe email you over the info on it, and you can put it on something later. But usually about a week after on Fox Sports, I believe it's Fox Sports 2. They'll show a recorded version of our race, so then it'll be on then. Yeah,
I got a bad connection on my end. I'm
Yeah, it's bad when it's on your end, Mike. So
Mr.
Doug,
Mack,
we're taking over this show, and this now has just become the racing show. So we're going to do a little tutorial on how to change your oil.
Yeah, well, I wanted to throw on too. I got my Templeton Eagles softball shirt on too, and I heard you guys talking about earlier the freshmen. You know, some freshmen barely get onto, you know, usually not onto the varsity team and stuff. Madison was fortunate enough, you know, 2 years ago to be part of the championships softball team, the varsity softball team, and I believe that year, I don't know exactly how many freshmen were on it, but I want to say it was probably close to 50% freshmen.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. I think there were maybe even more than that. I know Bella Backer wasn't a freshman, and Ashley Doherty wasn't a freshman, but I think pretty much all the other positions were fielded by. That was such an amazing team because they did it with mostly freshmen. And then to win the CIF championship, that was great.
Wow. Man, that was like winning the world championship. And, you know, for me in racing, we went to that game. We were in Fresno, and oh man, my heart was pumping so hard. I mean,
yeah.
that was so exciting. I say do it as a mainly all freshman team. I mean, obviously Ashley was just a phenomenal pitcher, but you know, you talk about dedication and hard work and stuff, and what it takes to become a champion. And well, Keith Swank, man, he's a very, very, very good coach. I mean, he puts a lot of dedication and stuff into his team, into his girls. And sometimes as a parent and stuff, I would get frustrated because it's like we'd show up to practice to pick up Madison, and you know, senior team. So I mean, you're supposed to be a lot of people driving themselves home anyways, you know, but you know, she's a freshman, so she's not able to drive, you know, so we're there to pick her up, and practice is running a half hour late or whatever. I'm like, come on. No, but it is like, but he's dedicated into making his team good, and you know, figuring out the best thing, and you know, and he's a very good coach and did a really good job, and yeah, it was cool to be part of that.
Yeah.
Am I still frozen here?
Yeah, we can hear you though.
Okay, well, my face is frozen. It's 8:02. Doug, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your morning to come on with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I hope that you'll come back and keep us posted throughout the rest of the school year with the girls and the activities going on in your household, but also with the racing. And so, yeah, best of luck to you, and stay safe, and just appreciate all of the positive vibes that you and your family bring to our community. Thank you.
For sure. Yeah, thanks again for including me, and we'll see if we can get some more. I'll post this stuff and see if we can get some more people joining in.
Awesome. Thanks again, Mr. Mack.
Yes.
Have a great day. We appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for having me on, Mike.
Some connectivity issues going on right now, but let's see if we can get Miles Martinelli up. Miles, are you in the house? Hey, you got sound? I can't hear you, bud. You got nothing. You got to turn your sound on. All kinds of technical difficulties going on this morning. Let's see. A common Let's see here. We have Miles. We don't have him. Let's try this again here. Miles, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
And I can hear you. Perfect.
And
All
I
right.
can see you.
Perfect.
But so we've got some connectivity issues going on today.
Yes, I can tell. It's all
It's
good though. It's all good.
It's a Tuesday, right? And that's what happens. My
Exactly.
coffee pot didn't work this morning when I woke up.
I haven't even had a cup of coffee yet, so I'm ooh, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. How much is your dad paying you to wear that hat right now on this live stream?
No, we actually found these hats in a storage container at Martinelli Landscape. So these are like old school, like these are like Gen 1 Martinelli right here. So these are vintage collector's items.
That's cool. I want one of those. I'll
right.
give you some good money for that one.
Okay.
That's great. Hey, so talk to me about what's going on with drama. You guys had a show that you were going to do last spring that ultimately ended up not happening in a live environment, but you guys kind of pivoted and did something and recorded it online, right?
Yeah, so last year we had a musical and it was Drowsy Chaperone, and we were right there. Like it was maybe a week out from the show. We were running dress rehearsals, tech rehearsals, like it was ready to go. And then our principal, Mr. Aston, he came down to the pack where we perform and rehearse. And he said, "Hey guys, unfortunately, he pulled Kingsbury aside while we were rehearsing, and then Kingsbury came down and broke us the news of how we can't perform the show because of COVID. And like we were still in school, but it was like right when all like the schools were shutting down, and so that was a bummer. And then we had this whole time through COVID where we were just doing our own thing. And then Miss Kingsbury, our director, she emailed all of us and said, "Hey, we can still do this, get it done, and still have a great time doing it. Like we just have to record ourselves." So it was really difficult. We had to record ourselves acting and singing, and we had to like send it in a certain order, and then to Mr. Jeff Van Eyckhoff, and then he edited all of it for us. And then that was hard. And then we started. So after that, then we had Pride and Prejudice, and I wasn't in that show, but I watched it and it was very good. And they were in person for that, but they had to mask up. And then now we're doing Young Frankenstein, the musical. Where is it? There we go.
Yeah. So I watched the Drowsy Chaperone production that you guys put together. It was edited great. I mean, I was just really impressed with all the kids' numbers, all of the hard work and preparation that went into it. And I actually don't tell anybody this, but I snuck onto your guys' private Facebook group and watched one of your dress rehearsals, and it blew me away. It was phenomenal. And yeah, I mean that was a special cast and group that put that together last year, and so really cool to be a part of that. I mean, that was probably a first for you in your theater career to be doing something like that.
Yeah.
So how long have you been involved in acting and theater and drama?
So I was never that was never the plan, is to be in drama. So in elementary school, I was, I don't want to say well, I would say rambunctious. I was bouncing off the walls, rambunctious, and we had Miss Brooks as our principal, and she contacted my parents, and she grew up just like me, the youngest of the family, out in the country. So I would do stuff that I can do in the country, but you can't do at school, like. You know what I mean? So I would just be messing around, and Miss Brooks said, "Hey, Miles has a lot of energy. Push him into drama and acting. He might not like it, but try it." So I think in fifth grade, I had what was it? I was in a musical. It was I forget what it was, but I had like a somewhat lead role. I'm not sure, but it was a fifth grade show, so it wasn't anything crazy, and I liked it. So then sixth grade, I did nothing sixth grade, and then seventh and eighth grade, you could take beginning drama with Miss Kingsbury over at the high school. So I took seventh and eighth grade drama, and then drama all throughout high school. So that's a total of 6 years with Kingsbury, and then, but I don't know if you'd count like middle school and elementary, but I've been doing drama every year at high school now for 4 years. So.
And what's the favorite role you've ever played?
I think my favorite role right now has to be the doctor from Young Frankenstein. Like, I mean, I liked all my roles, but I really like this one because I'm a huge fan of Mel Brooks. You know, this all his old movies, and now they turn one of his old movies into a musical. So I mean, I don't know. I just really like Mel Brooks films. So
I wanted to do one of the scenes with you.
Oh boy.
But I was told that it wasn't going to be allowed. And so I'm going to humbly ask you if you can pick one of your monologue scenes that you've been rehearsing and just do an impromptu. I know I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but give us a taste of what we're going to see from Miles Martinelli on stage.
Okay, let me think of one here. So there's a scene that I like, and I can't give any spoilers. I mean, I don't know if there's really any spoilers because everyone knows the show so well. So I have my buddy Igor, and he messes something up. I can't give any spoilers, but he messes something up and it makes me really mad. So I'm like, Igor, could you come over here for a second? He has a line. Igor, sit down. No, sit on the chair, Igor. Igor, the brain you gave me, was it the brain that I wanted? Now, Igor, can you tell me whose brain I did put in? He says, oh, I can't, I'm not going to give any spoilers. Never mind. So he says something, and then I say something back. And I'm like, so Igor, are you telling me that I put a something brain into an almost 7 feet in height, 4 foot wide gorilla? Is that what you're telling me? And then I start to choke him out a little bit, and then something else happened. It's just, yeah. So I mean, everyone's watching that, what I just did, and they're like, "Ooh, maybe we don't want to go see the show."
Who plays Igor?
JD Black.
Okay.
He was everyone knows him as like the small little middle schooler, but he's a freshman now. It's crazy. He's a freshman now, and he's an amazing actor. So I'm really happy to be working with him.
Awesome. So tell me, so I've got to get the show times and dates on the community calendar. But if you have all that information, I'll give you 30 seconds to just plug the shows, how people can buy tickets, go see it, all of that good stuff.
Alrighty, so I have it all right here. I can send you a picture. It has all the show dates and information and tickets and all that stuff. But the show opens up March 18th so it's 18, 19, 20. So that first Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then a week goes by, and then it's next Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So that's March 18th through the 20th, and then 25th through the 27th. And the seating begins at 6:30, and the performance. And so the show starts at 7, but I'm pretty sure we're asking everyone to get there around 6:30. And it's outdoors, so it's going to be at the Templeton Quad, or the Templeton High School Quad. And it's outdoors, so you might want to bring a jacket, a blanket, something like that. Masks. I'm pretty sure we have to all mask up. And that's another thing with the show is we're still deciding if we want to wear masks or not while performing. So everything's still being worked out, but definitely you do have to wear a mask when you come and watch the show. I'm not sure how it's going to work with if there's any distancing or how the chairs are going to be spread out, but
okay.
Yeah. And then the tickets, I'll have to send you this, but tickets, there's like a link and a QR code, and there's a number right here if you guys have any questions.
Give me that information, and I'll make sure I put it on the website.
All right, I could send you a picture of it too. Or well, yeah, but is Miles related to Max? I am Max Martinelli. He's my oldest brother. Yeah, he's my oldest. I'm a little baby of the family.
All right, Miles Martinelli, I appreciate you coming on. I'll have you back next week. Check in with us. Let us know how the show went Thursday, Friday next week. All right.
All righty, good deal.
Give me that information. I'll put it on the website and make sure that people know how they can go watch you guys. Young Frankenstein Templeton High School production. Awesome. Thanks so much, bud.
Thank you very much, Mike. You have a great day.
You too. All right. So apparently I'm getting a bunch of feedback and scratching. I don't know if it was just Miles, his feed, but if somebody wants to let me know in the comments if the sound is better now, that would be great. Okay, so it's 8:15. We're moving right along. 8:16. I've got Templeton FFA joining us now. Katie Simonin and Cody Kuster. We lost Cody. I don't see him in the picture. Katie, how are you? I got no volume for you, Katie. Is your microphone on? Can't hear you, Katie.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Oh, yay. Okay. Cool.
We have Cody, but we don't have Cody's face.
Cody. So how are you?
I'm good. It's a Tuesday. There's Cody.
I'm so close.
How are you, Cody? He's frozen. Cody. Can you hear us, Cody? Oh, we lost him.
Cody.
All right, well, let's get started with you, Katie.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, I don't really know you very well. And so
Yeah.
if you could just kind of introduce yourself to the community. Cody, are you there with us?
Yes, technical difficulties.
Awesome. Tell me about it. It's all the way around this morning. It's a Tuesday. So I was just having Katie start talking about who she is, what her interests are, how she got involved in FFA. Katie, in 30 seconds or less, give us a this is Katie Simonin's story.
Okay. Hello, I'm Katie Simonin. I'm a senior at Templeton High School this year. I'm serving as Templeton FFA's secretary this year. I got into FFA because my siblings did it, and then when I started it, I just couldn't stop because it's so fun. And yeah, that's me. I love animals, especially cows, and that's me. That's who Katie is.
So your favorite animal is a cow.
Yeah. Or whales. I really like whales too. But
Thanks, Katie. Good to meet you.
good to meet you too.
Okay, Cody, give us the rundown. Who is Cody Kuster?
So my name is Cody Kuster. I'm also a senior at Templeton High School, and I'm currently serving Templeton FFA as their chapter president. And I'm also serving the region, the South Coast region, as the regional vice president, representing. And in FFA, I show sheep and hogs. And the way I got involved was because my ag teacher, Miss Bognuda, now, she kind of put me into what was it, the open and closing ceremonies, the competition. And after that, I really loved the vibes that everyone gave off at the competition. And I just wanted to keep doing more.
That's great. And are you a lifelong Templeton resident?
No, I moved to Templeton in the 8th grade. Well, towards like the end of 8th grade. I think I had like 1 month of 8th grade in.
Okay.
But I moved from King City.
Oh, we lost Katie. She bounced. So you moved from King City, and you were involved in FFA in King City as well?
No, I wasn't involved in FFA in King City. Didn't even know what agriculture. I was in King City. But after I moved here, after joining the high school in, I think the year after I moved, I started doing FFA because my ag teacher really told me that I should try to do it.
Awesome. So, Katie, you're waving your hands.
Oh,
What's
you can
going on?
see me. It's frozen on mine. So I'm okay. Okay, sorry.
We can see you.
Oh,
So
okay.
talk to us about, so in a typical year, the FFA chapter, you guys have tons of in-person competitions and activities and meetings. Explain to us what a typical year is like for you guys as a chapter. Let's start with like, you're elected as an officer. What does that year look like for you?
So
Cody,
when we first get elected, we always do, well, we obviously didn't do it this year, but we always tend to do a officer retreat so that we can try to get to know each other. And then we try to get the entire year planned out. And when we go back to school, we always like to, on the first day of school, we like to introduce ourselves and like what we are as a chapter. And we always try to get the freshmen to try to get as involved as possible. So then we always have a teacher and, well, ag teacher and officer and parent meeting night so that all the parents meet together and we explain to the parents what their freshman is getting involved in and also what the other students are getting involved in. And yeah, it's just really fun. And then we also do a lot of drive-through barbecues. We do competitions, and we explain to the parents that their kids can get involved in competitions. And yeah, we just try to be more.
What are some of the competitions that you guys engage in?
We tend to do, well, I was in Parley Pro, parliamentary procedure, which is just like they give us a debate and we just debate, oh, why should we have this and why should we like not do this at our school? And then Katie, I think she's involved in livestock judging where she judges. Yeah, you can talk about that, Katie.
Yeah, so wait, did you say Parley Pro? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, it kicked me. Okay, so there's Parley Pro, and then I do livestock judging. So you kind of spend the whole day, you judge some animals, and then you give reasons on it. So that's pretty fun. There's Parley Pro livestock judging. We have nursery landscape, which is like you're tested on like your knowledge of plants. We have vine pruning, where you prune vines and like they judge on how you prune vines. So those are always really fun because you get to travel all over the state and compete. So those are pretty cool. So those are mostly CDEs except Parley Pro. I think that one's.
Yeah, that one's an L.
And so when I join FFA as a student, I have the opportunity to sign up to be in any type of competition I want, or do you have to work your way up to these competitions, or how does that work?
A lot of the LDEs are like by grade. So like, but Parley Pro, livestock judging, nursery landscaping, vine pruning, you can, and we have a welding team too. We got first in the state, so go us. But those are all you can do any year of high school. But then like the LDEs, like the Creed, the FFA Creed, which is a 5-paragraph like speech on just like why FFA is amazing. That's just for freshmen. And then there's Impromptu, which is you like answer some questions on the fly, and that's for sophomores. And then juniors and seniors have some like leeway. They can do Prepared, where you write a speech on an agriculture topic and then give it. There's Extemporaneous, where like you educate yourself on a lot of stuff and they ask you like really hard. And then there's Job Interview, which Cody did Job Interview, and you pretty much, it teaches you how to get prepared for a job interview. So those are kind of, you can choose when you're a junior or senior. So yeah, those are pretty dope.
All right. So at the risk of putting one of you guys on the spot, anyone want to recite the Creed?
I never.
The whole Creed?
It's 5 paragraphs.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got time.
I can try. I haven't done it since I was a freshman, though. So
Well, if your advisors are watching and this is something that you're supposed to know inside and out, I don't want to put you on the spot.
That's okay. Okay, you ready?
Let's go.
I believe in the future of agriculture.
Hold on. Game face. This is going to go viral.
It's not going to be good.
Okay.
That's okay. Okay. I used to do this in the shower like all the time after I was a freshman because I never wanted to forget it, and I haven't done it in a while. Okay. The FFA Creed by E.M. Tiffany. I believe in the future of agriculture, with a faith born not of words, but of oh no, I already forgot. With a faith born not of words, but of deeds. Cody, what's the next line?
I think it's I don't know. I never did it.
Oh,
Ah, no, I'm a bad
okay.
FFA
That
member.
homework assignment. Homework assignment
Yeah.
next week.
Oh
One of
no.
you is coming on to recite the creed.
Okay.
And here's the funny thing about live stream stuff. You could put it on your computer screen, and I would never know.
I really should have just done that quick. We do have this year a lot of the freshmen who did Creed because we did like online. We had like a lot of kids go on to Region, so
Yeah. So
they're
talk to
really
me.
good at it.
I know you guys are so sick and tired of hearing about COVID and distance learning and blah blah blah. So I don't want to, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I do want you to talk through what does this year look like for you guys for chapter meetings, for competitions, for getting together with other chapters. What has that looked like? And then what are some things that you guys are looking forward to being able to do here coming up in the rest of the spring into the summer?
Yeah, so this year has definitely looked really different because like I know we used to always be involved with our members and like try to do as much stuff as we can with our members, but obviously because of COVID this year we haven't been able to do that. So we have tried to improvise. Like I know our last chapter meeting we did a Zoom, like big old Zoom call where everyone joined the Zoom and we basically did a meeting how we usually would do it. And we have had a game night where we had people join a Zoom call and then we gave them all a link to play the game Among Us because that's when like Among Us was like really popular. So we all played Among Us together and it was really, really fun. Like our members even like texted us and was like, oh, this is so fun. We should try to do this more. And yeah, it's really been different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's pretty hard because FFA is such a like you're in person kind of thing. Like it's leadership. Like to be with people is like the main focus of it. So it's pretty hard to like reach out to people through Zoom. But I feel like we've been doing a pretty good job of trying to keep our Instagram updated. I'm really looking forward to fairs. I hope Salinas Valley Fair. I know they're trying to work out something to where they can get a live show for people who have animals, and this summer hopefully Midstate can work out something. So I'm looking forward to those. Yeah, fingers crossed.
And do you guys currently have animals that you're raising right now?
I do, yes. I have a steer and a heifer for Midstate.
I don't yet, but I should have one by the end of the month or
Okay.
of next month. I'm going to be getting 2 lambs, one for King City and one for Midstate.
So when's King City? It's in May, right?
Yes, it's in May.
Yes.
Okay. So you'll only have
That's,
it.
I think,
Yeah, for like 2.5 months.
Okay.
Hey, but at least
I think they're just planning like for King City to do like a day. Like that's what I was hearing. Like a day, kids come in, they bring their animals. Like there's gonna be no washing, so it's gonna be very. But at least that's better than submitting pictures. So.
Up for like a newsletter from the King City Fair, where like I believe every week they send out like an update, or every once in a while they'll send out an update of like how the fair should look like.
Mhm.
But yeah, I have a newsletter.
Interesting. One last question. I'll let you guys go. This is me as a parent of children that have been involved in FFA. I should know the answer to this, but what is the difference between a steer and a heifer?
A steer is a boy cow, but and like he can't have babies. That's a
Okay.
steer. So like that's what we eat is like
Uh-huh.
steers usually. So and then a heifer is a girl cow that hasn't had any babies yet. So she's like a teenager cow.
Okay.
Yes. So heifer is girl that hasn't had babies. Steer is boy that can't have babies.
And are there other classes of cows in FFA raising animals? Like steer,
Like,
heifer, what else?
There's bull. So like a bull would be a cow is a boy that can have babies. And then there's a cow, which is like a heifer that's had like 2 babies. So it's like an adult cow an adult girl cow is a cow.
So if I'm buying an animal at an auction for meat, I'm buying a steer.
Most likely, yes. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Because a bowl, it gets too like tight. You don't want to eat it. I mean, you can, but
Okay. All right.
not yummy.
Well, hey, listen, I've got Mr. Aston, your principal, coming on right now. And so I wanted to just take this time to thank you guys for sharing a little bit of your FFA journey this year with us. And I also want to invite you to use this platform anytime you want to get word out to the general public, the community of things that you guys might need help with, things that are going on. Maybe you're, have a fundraiser that you're trying to raise money or whatever it is. All you got to do is shoot me a text, email, whatever you want to do anytime, and I'll make time to make sure that you guys get on and have the platform and the opportunity to share with the community. Okay.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And thanks for being leaders, student leaders in the community. And I know a lot of the younger underclassmen are really looking up to you guys as officers. And Cody, thanks for representing obviously Templeton FFA on the regional level. That's great. So congratulations on your success there. And yes, please come back. Okay, guys.
Thank you.
Will do.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Bye. All right, so that's Cody Kuster and Katie Simone, two awesome kids that I've gotten the opportunity to know over the last few years as my kids are growing up with them as well. And so, yeah, I'm reading the comments. Stacy commented and saying, the show's featuring some amazing students, but it really shows the difficulty of online technical issues that happen. I couldn't agree more. And to be honest with you, a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm kind of sitting in a makeshift room studio right now, and I'm slowly working out these technical issues on my end with this live stream broadcast as we are only our second day into this show. But hopefully these things get better. But yeah, there's always going to be these technical issues that arise, I guess. So and as I'm talking about it right now, I'm freezing up. So let's see if we can reconnect here. And solid. Solid as we invite in to the mix Josh Aston. Mr. Aston is the principal at Templeton High School, and let's see if I can get him on with us here. Stream. Come on.
Mike, it says everybody can see and hear me now on my end. Can you hear me?
We are dealing with trying to get Josh. You're on.
All right, cool. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me.
I was just talking about the difficulties of streaming issues, and as I'm talking about it, I lock up, and so I had to reset my router, and I think we're good to go now. You're looking good.
All right, thanks. Yeah, you too. I'm excited to be here.
You got a great fresh haircut, ready for the kids to be welcome back next week. That's awesome.
That's right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start wearing a tie again, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Right, exactly. Well, I want to thank you for coming on and making time to come on and address the community. And hopefully this is a platform for you to get the word out with anything that you want to on a weekly basis. And my vision for you and your involvement with this platform is that you are using this as a visual and audio version of your touch points that send out weekly. And so, but I also want to encourage you and invite you to anytime, anything else needs to happen, on a daily basis, and you want to get the word out, the floor is yours anytime you want it. So
awesome.
Thanks again for being a part of this.
Oh yeah, not a problem. I wanna respond to Abby's comment about the color of my shirt. Yeah, it's not Morro Bay colors. I'm an alumni of Brigham Young University. This is my BYU colors.
Awesome. Okay.
So just to clarify, they are not Morro Bay colors.
And just so you know, Josh, they can't. We can see the comments on our screen, but it's not on the live stream. So
okay, so I'm calling her out.
yeah, you're calling her out. Exactly.
Shoot, sorry about that.
No, that's awesome. No, yeah. So Brigham Young, you were a graduate of BYU. What year?
2005. So it's been a few years.
Okay, yeah. And you came to Templeton from out of state, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I was born and raised and worked for my first, I don't know, probably 12, 13 years in education in Idaho, Southern Idaho. Give or take a few years for active duty military service, yeah, most of my time has been spent in Southern Idaho, but we moved here because my wife is from the Central Valley, and she had a brother that moved to this area, and then her parents moved here after their retirement, and so we thought it was a cool place to live. So we've enjoyed it.
And so, thank you for your service to our country. First off, are you still a reserve?
Yeah, so I am. I still am I'm in the Army Reserve, and I actually have to go do my training this weekend in the lead up to our start to hybrid. So I'm gonna be I'll be spending my whole weekend like doing both, like making sure everything's set for Monday to get rolling here at the school, and then doing my job as well.
And so is this a once a weekend or once a month service that you do?
Yeah, and it's since the pandemic started, it's looked a little bit different. And because I am in the Army Reserve rather than the National Guard, I actually travel out of state to do my service. And so my unit's based out of Washington State, and I haven't been able to travel until this month. Like now I can. Like wow. We've been doing hybrid battle assembly is what it's called, and it's been interesting too. We utilize Microsoft Teams to meet with our sections and the other soldiers that we work with, and then we've done a lot of web-based training. It's not quite the same as actually being out in the field and doing the training in the field, but you do what you got to do during the pandemic.
And I don't know if you want to share this, but what specific role do you play in the reserves?
So right now I'm what's called the Detailed Inspector General. And so our section, I work for the Commanding General of the 364th Expeditionary Sustainment Command. It's based out of Washington, and it covers pretty much the northwestern United States, from Montana to Washington down to Utah, like that whole section of the country. So what I do, we're kind of like a quality control for the command. So we make sure that we inspect to make sure that people are following Army regulations, Army policies. So we're a bunch of nerds that look at regulations and make sure that all of our units are doing what they're supposed to. We also assist soldiers to make sure that they're getting paid, they're being taken care of, their families are being taken care of. And all, we resolve issues that aren't able to be resolved at the lowest level. They bring them to us to look at those. And also, the one part I don't like about my job is we investigate instances of impropriety, violations of Army regulation, things like that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that sounds like the title again was Inspector General. Is that what you said?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So it's obviously a good segue into your career life of being, not that you're the Inspector General of the high school, but it's a leadership role that has to, there's lots of cross-pollination of skills that you bring to the table in both sides, I would imagine.
Sure. Yeah, it definitely. It's amazing how high schoolers and soldiers, there's so many parallels. You would think, well, it's different. These are adult men and women. Well, they still have the same challenges that high schoolers have. High schoolers have adult problems, whether we want to admit that or not. They have the same problems that adults have. So anyway, yeah, there is a lot of crossover.
Yeah. So you came us was last year. I don't even know what year it is, but the school year of 1920
Correct. Yeah.
was your first year with us.
Uh-huh.
And so you got basically 3/4 of the year on campus with our student body. And then you and the entire staff and your team had to do this crazy pivot. And really not just our team locally, but nationwide, right? And so, I mean, we could spend hours and days talking about all of the challenges that you've had as an administration and staff and faculty, but that's probably another conversation for a longer form podcast at some point. But
sure, yeah.
So explain if you had to sum up Templeton and the spirit of the community and the student body after your first full year of being in the community, how would you describe it if you're talking to one of your college buddies about the school that you're a part of and the community you're a part of?
I think the word that comes to mind, and maybe I'm out in left field, but I think committed. I think about our student body. They're committed to being the best that they can be. And they are really just great kids, amazing kids. And so they're committed to doing their best. And that's what I've always been impressed. That was the first thing when I came here. I got to meet with a group of students before when I was being interviewed, and I was just like, oh my gosh, these kids are they're doing their best, and they're committed to being their best. And that was something that I was very impressed with. And then I also, our community and our parents and guardians that are part of this Eagle family. That's the same thing, committed to making sure that we're having the best experience that we can and providing the best educational opportunities for our kids. So that, I just keep thinking of that, committed. And I've loved that so far, that, I know that anything that we do, we're going to have backing from the community. We're going to have backing from the kids, and they're willing to give ideas and think outside the box to make things happen.
Yeah, that is true. And it's almost a testament to the parents of the community as well. This, from my vantage point growing up here, getting to the area when I was 3, this is a community that is, a lot of multi-generational, hard-working families that have just passed down that ethic, that work ethic, generation to generation. And you're right. I mean, they are committed. They are committed to, raising great kids. They're committed to supporting each other in times of need. They're committed to business success and just having a great sense of community. And funny story, and I wasn't going to bring this up, but so we get a call yesterday from somebody in the community who observed, some questionable driving from one of our children, and passed the word along to us. And that sense of community is something that you don't necessarily get anywhere, right? And so we have a community that's committed to helping each other raise great kids. And it does take a village. And, for us to be in that type of situation, I think that we are super blessed. And so, you basically got dropped into a gold mine, right?
Yeah, I agree. That was one of the first things, I noticed, our kids are just uncharacteristically nice. I mean, and that's a shout out to the parents, kudos to the parents, because that starts in the home. The level of respect and kindness that they show to each other is really very impressive.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that also is I've been very, very grateful for is the fact that we have people willing to help whenever we need it. I don't mean to speak ill of my previous district, but if we were to have a community forum or a board meeting, we'd get a handful of parents or guardians, taken part in that. If we do something like that here, we get numbers, and I'm so grateful for that because you really can't have a successful school environment without participation from all of the groups, parents, students, and staff.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And obviously you take the bad with the good sometimes, but that's better than the alternative, right? Of not having that interaction. And so,
absolutely, yeah.
Well, with about 5 minutes left or so with you, you want to give us a kind of a state of the union in terms of the high school, like where we've come from in the last 12 months, where we are now, where we're going for the rest of the school year. Please, the floor is yours. So if you want to help the community, I just welcome that.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks. So yeah, we all know that the last 12 months has been a challenge, and first and foremost, we want to recognize the hard work that went into shifting education. March 13th of 2020, we were said, okay, let's blow up the model of education and let's remake it. And so, that hasn't been without growing pains, that hasn't been without bumps and bruises along the way, but we've been able to make it work. So moving forward, we are so excited to be able to have kids back on campus starting Monday. We've worked this entire year to get kids back on campus to the extent we could, and we had several groups on campus, and kudos to the teachers and coaches that have been working with students and bringing them on campus. I think about the drama production that we had first semester. It was live streamed, and Miss Kingsbury brought the kids on, adhered to physical distancing standard, protocols, and they were able to do Pride and Prejudice outside, and it was amazing. And now they're doing Young Frankenstein, and that's going to start March 18th, and they're doing that outside, and they've made it work, and they're going to have a small audience being able to watch live, and it'll be fantastic. And you guys should check it out too. Mr. Diodati, myself, and Mr. Weinberger have some cameos in the play, so that should be a lot of fun. But yeah, I think the state of the school right now is we're just really excited to get kids back on campus. And we're going to continue to work to be able to do it to the greatest extent possible. As conditions improve in the county and the state, we're gonna work to be able to do more and more things. We've got plans to implement more and more activities and things like that. We're committed to doing it to the greatest extent possible. Until we get shut down, right?
Do you have regular interaction with other high school principals in the area?
Yeah, normally, so what we have, it's the High School Principals Network is what we call it. So we meet, it's every other month, we meet as a group. And then we've also got, email chains. So, when we start talking about, well, what are you guys doing as far as reopening? How are you handling this and this and that? I've got communication with the other, for the most part, with the other principals in the county. Got
it. Okay, and you guys are all pretty unified with the direction that we want to go as schools, and getting these kids back in the classroom, right? Yeah, there is some differences between the different communities, as far as what our focus is, but generally, I would say, for the most part, the county is all on the same page. There's a few outlying areas, in our county, but especially in the North County, we're all of the same mindset that, we're going to do what we can to make sure that we get our kids back to the greatest extent possible. And I would imagine one of the most difficult parts of your role is that public opinion and staying the course and taking in information and making decisions that ultimately benefit not only the faculty but also the students and the community as a whole. It's got to be one of the toughest parts of your job, is kind of, you're Michael Jordan on the free throw line trying to block out the thousands of people screaming at you to make this shot, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely that aspect. One of the things too is we, like you said, you just have to stay the course, and you just have to remember, why, as educators, why we got into this profession in the first place, and it was not to win popularity contests or become the mayor of the town. It's to make sure that we're
we're doing what's best for kids, and that's
Sure.
that's what our goal is. And so yeah, there's always going to be those things, you know, there's always going to be people that are upset with one decision or another, but especially right now, you know, the way that I look at it is like everyone's frustrated, and it's nothing personal. You know, it's against the school. Everyone's just ready for things to start to transition to a more normal setting. And so, you know, we just have to kind of roll with it.
Yeah. So with the short time that we have left, talk through some of the preparations that you guys have made as a school and a staff to get ready to welcome these kids back next week in the hybrid environment.
Yeah, so this is something that we've never done. So this is going to be rough, and I haven't reached out to Atascadero to see how things are going there, but they're the first ones through the breach, so they'll have some good input. But what we've done, there's a lot of logistics that have gone into the preparation. One, we had to make sure that we had the technology infrastructure to be able to simultaneously stream a class while a teacher's teaching in person. So we added some cameras with panning capabilities, some microphones to pick up students throughout the classroom. So those have all been put into the classrooms. We've arranged desks and tables to maximize physical distancing. We've had to, because drinking fountains are kind of a weird thing, we've had to cap off some drinking fountains. You know, luckily we've had some great community involvement. They bought us some water bottle filling stations. We've opened up some additional bathrooms, which should make people happy. I know kids that were down in the south end of campus would always say, well, can you open up the stadium? Yeah, the stadium bathrooms are now open,
Oh,
you know, as well as the ones in the gym. So we've adjusted to make sure that we have more facilities, the maximum amount of facilities available for our kids when they come on campus. One of the things too, to just, you know, to help with the physical distancing aspect of things, we're finishing the day at 12:45. Kids can grab lunch on the way out. There's complimentary lunch that's been provided, and our amazing food service department will be there to, if kids want a lunch, they got it. And then lunch, you know, the expectation is lunch isn't here on campus. And so, so there's a lot of little things that go into it. And I will say, you know, our teachers have been working very hard to adjust their curriculum to be able to make it work, you know, lessons that are going to work with half of them in person and half of them not in person. And all the while still sticking to the curriculum that they have to get through. You know, we've got a lot of AP classes that are on a schedule. You got to take AP tests in May. We're also preparing to do state standardized testing, you know, so there's everything that goes into a school year that in addition to getting ready to make sure we have kids back on campus. So so it's been a lot of little things. You know, I think for a long time we've had the meat and potatoes of the plan, and we've been ready to go for quite some time. It's just now that as we're getting closer and closer to that date, there's 101 little questions that pop up that we were like, oh yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
Sure.
And you know, we gotta figure out an answer for. Like I just got done meeting with our PE teachers to talk about how we're going to move back and forth, you know, between the locker rooms and getting dressed out and things like that. So
Wow.
yeah, so like I said, a lot of little things, but we're there, we're ready to go, and we're excited to see the kids Monday.
So if there's anything that you can tell the community to have us, you know, put you in the best position to succeed as a school, what would you like to ask of us as a community to help you guys do your jobs the best you can as the kids go back to this hybrid environment?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just to show support. You know, we have to do a lot of things that we may not like to do. You know, kids are going to have to wear masks. They're going to have to physically distance. You know, it's not ideal, and we fully recognize that. I would, if I could open and not have to do those things, definitely we would do that. But just support us in the fact that we're going to, you know, we have to make kids wear masks. We have to follow those protocols, because those are the steps that we had to put in place in order to do this opening. And so, yeah, just support, you know, and help with your students, you know, like let them know, hey, it's going to look a little bit different. Don't get frustrated. You get to be there with your friends. You know, you get to be on campus. You get to see your teacher's face, you know, instead of over a screen. So that would be the biggest thing, is just, you know, prep the kids, support the kids, and let them know that, yeah, it's going to be a little bit different, but it's still going to be awesome.
Well, we certainly appreciate your leadership to our kids and the faculty there at Templeton High School. We hit the jackpot when we got you. I think personally, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in the community that think that as well. So we just really thank you for your perseverance, your hard work, and your continued positive spirit and attitude, and that goes a long way with being a leader in our community. So thank you so much for everything that you've been doing for us.
Well, thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you. I feel like I kind of invited myself on, but I appreciate you giving me a chance to talk every week. I'm really looking forward to it.
No, I sent you the invite, but it's probably buried in 800 different emails.
Yeah, I apologize that I just barely got to it. Yeah.
No worries at all. But like I said, every Wednesday at 8:30, I'd love to get you in here to do the principal's update, and we can name the segment something cool if you want. So Inspector General's update, whatever you want to call it.
Let me think on that. I can't, I'm not quick on my feet, so I can't think of anything clever right now.
Oh, all right. Are you going to be up in the booth this football season?
I don't think so. If we are able to schedule some JV games, I will be doing the JV games, but John Spalding does an amazing job. So, we'll have John up there for our football games. If we have some JV games, I will do them. But if not, okay. I'm more than happy to just be there supporting.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I personally can't wait to get back on campus as a volunteer and help in any capacity that I can be in. So
absolutely. Well, and I would say one thing, Mike, you might want to reach out to Joe Farley. He has a lot of great information about sports and activities.
So you must not have watched the show yesterday, Joe.
Oh, was he on yesterday? Okay.
He's on every Monday at 8:15.
Okay, so he's already got a spot. Okay. Yeah.
So we've got a great lineup. I've got a district update happening on Wednesdays, and Mr. Asplund and Andy are going to tag team it or share responsibilities. Coach Crow is going to join us every Wednesday at 8:00 for his kind of football update. Mr. Max on daily, giving us the activities for the day. Coach Farley's on. Yeah, we've got quite a roster. Mr. Lewis actually is going to do a Wednesday history lesson with us.
Oh, sweet.
As a community too. So that'll be a lot of fun. But this, the whole goal in this whole show is just providing this forum and this platform for us as a community, schools, education, and Templeton Parks and Rec, and you name it, anybody in the community coming on, sharing information and news, and ultimately positivity. That's what we need as a community. So
I love it.
That's the goal of the platform, and I appreciate you taking the time to be a part of it.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. I really appreciate it.
All right, Josh, we'll see you next week. Good luck.
All right, thanks. See ya.
Yeah, bye. All right, that's Josh Aston. He's the principal at Templeton High School, and I've had the good fortune of getting to know him a little bit through some type of mishap with a student that I'm in charge of, maybe. But Josh is a great guy and just a great leader for our community. And, we are blessed. I can't tell you how lucky we are to be a part of this community, and the leadership and the adults that our kids interact with on a daily basis is just phenomenal. And, my message at the end of the day yesterday was, I think we've been really hard on ourselves as a community, as parents in the last year. And then we've been hard on each other. And so my focus, March, April, May, June, is getting these kids through school with a positive spirit, positive attitude, making the best of the situation, and just not being so hard on myself as a parent that is not doing a good job. And so, extending myself grace, extending the other people in the community grace, and just giving ourselves an opportunity to just heal. Let's heal as a community, and let's heal each other and heal our students and take care of each other. So, hey, I appreciate day 2's in the books. This is the Morning Buzz. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We had some issues with the streaming capabilities on my end, and we'll get these kinks worked out. By the time we have show 476, this thing will be smooth sailing. So appreciate you guys tuning in today. And again, as always, send me an email, morningbuzzarroundtown@gmail.com. Feel free to send me any information that you want to get out in the community. If you want to come on the show as a guest and spread some news and information, please hit me up, and then share it with your friends. We appreciate all of the interaction that you guys have given us so far. And so, like I said yesterday, we had an awesome first day with over 500 or so, 1,000, 1,500 people tuning in and watching at any given time. So thank you so much. The Morning Buzz, it's Tuesday edition. Have a great day.